Hello everyone, my name is Jesse A. Cruz. I am the author of this book, Live Your Dash, Discovering the 8 F's to Freedom, and I want to share one of the first parts of my book with you titled, The Small Things. People generally tend to focus on the big things in life. This leads to underestimating the importance of the so-called small things. The small things are actually teachable moments we take for granted. What we believe to be an insignificant thing can actually become a monumental building block for our development. To further explain the importance of perceived small things, allow me to share this story about a family trip we took a few years ago. My family enjoys hiking at state parks in New York. We heard of a beautiful place nearby and decided to visit for the day. We had big plans for this big park. We came for big things, the big waterfalls, gorges, and the big places to swim. We went on a hiking trip to Ithaca, New York, to a place called Robert Traman State Park. We saw breathtaking waterfalls like never before. We were mesmerized by their beauty. There were several trails, scenic views, and even a swimming area that had a diving board right next to a waterfall. This was quite the experience in nature, one that we will never forget. During our hike, we decided to take a brief break to drink some water and cool off. It was then I picked up some small stones and began skipping rocks. Skipping rocks is something I commonly do to pass time when there is an opportunity. As I began skipping rocks, my daughters looked at me with confusion and wonder. They didn't understand how a rock could appear to fly across the surface of the water without sinking. My children were intrigued and asked if I could teach them. I decided to demonstrate how I skipped the rock several times. I showed them how I held the stone and the proper stones to use. They began trying and weren't able to skip them at first. Attempt after attempt, they tried and tried. Suddenly, they were getting the hang of it. They began skipping the rocks. They were so proud of themselves. They had learned something new. After they skipped a few more, we journeyed back on the trails. We made it to the swimming hole and made great memories on the way back. We actually climbed up a waterfall, which, looking back now, was unsafe and actually stupid. It was dangerous, and my young children had no business climbing up this slippery waterfall. Don't judge me. Nobody got hurt, surprisingly, and it was a blast. It wasn't our best parenting decision, but it all worked out. It was a pure adrenaline rush. Once we finished the hike, we headed back to the car and completed our adventure. On the way home, after hiking the unique trail, enjoying all the swimming holes, jumping off the diving board, climbing a waterfall, and seeing the unbelievable views, I asked my children what their favorite activity was. They both said, "Skipping rocks, Dad." I actually became angry, confused, and happy all at the same time. I was angry because we could have stayed home to skip rocks. I was confused because I didn't understand why skipping rocks were the best part of all we had done. Lastly, I was happy because they had enjoyed themselves. I thought to myself, how could something so small be so impactful? My wife and I came to the park for the big things. My children saw the big picture through the small things. You see, it isn't always the glamorous, flashy, and big things that make the impact we are seeking. For my children, it was skipping rocks that added value to their dash. Their dash became more meaningful because of their choice to experience joy through a small thing. At any moment, there is time to discover freedom in life, no matter how small the situation or activity appears. You never know when your next experience of a lifetime can happen. Now, when my children bring friends on hikes, they take the time to stop and teach their friends how to skip rocks. Since this small idea of skipping rocks had a big influence on their dash, a rock on the ground is a teachable moment. It is during these moments of discovery that we find freedom. When we have freedom, we recognize that each breath we take is an opportunity to make a life-changing decision. Knowing we will expire gives us the reality that this exact moment should be cherished and appreciated. The date on our tombstone signifies the quantity of our life, but more importantly, the dash represents the purposeful quality of our life. The purpose of our dash happens one moment and one decision at a time, through the small things. Even the small things, like skipping rocks. Thank you.